Hello, beautiful people. I'm going to share in this video about my reflections of my experience about being in relationship as well as being single. So I've been in all manner of relationships. I've been in abusive relationships, physically abusive, sexually abusive, emotionally abusive. I've been in toxic relationships. I've been in beautiful divine unions. I've been in soulmate relationships. I've been in divine love relationships. I've been in many different kinds of relationships. So I've learned a lot. I've not been married, but I've been engaged to be married. And I have been in very long-term relationships, short-term relationships. And I've also been single and celibate for extended periods of time. So I've learned a lot about relationships, a lot about being single. And right now I am doing a practice of sharing what's alive in me every day. And whether that's through writing or through doing a video like this. Whew! And what's so alive in me right now, because I just went through the most excruciating breakup of my life, soul-wrenching breakup. And this was about 6 months ago, and if there were a pill I could pop for that pain, I would have taken it months ago, believe me. But there's no pill you can pop for that kind of pain. And so, the last very challenging breakup that I went through, it was in my early 20s. And basically after that breakup, and that was to the person that I was engaged to be married to. After that breakup, I knew that I needed to be alone. There was so much calamity that happened for me in that relationship, so much hardship, that I was like, okay, I knew enough at that point in time in my spiritual journey to be like, whatever is reflecting on the outside is because we got something going on the inside. And I knew that I needed to really go deeper into my own self-love in order to attract a partner into my life that would love and honor me in the way that I wanted to be loved and honored. So I was like, I'm gonna be alone. I'm not dating. I'm not seeing anybody. That actually lasted for 3 years, as well as not being sexually intimate with anyone. And it was an amazing, empowering transformation. And I remember the first few months of that were excruciating. I didn't know how to be with myself. I didn't know how to be alone. And I was living alone at the time as well. So the way that I started to discover how to be alone, how to love myself, was by being creative and allowing myself to process my emotions through creative expression, through drawing and writing songs, and allowing all of the emotions that I was processing to have an outlet of creativity. And that was the way that I began to heal and establish a deep love and connection with myself, until I got to the place where I loved being by myself, to where I craved being by myself. I couldn't wait to go home and be alone. But what I want to say is that this is a muscle. Just like we go to the gym and build a muscle, it's a muscle to be alone. For some people, if you're very comfortable with being alone, it's a muscle that you have to build to be social, to interact and to engage. And in the beginning, maybe it feels super hard and uncomfortable, but by little, it becomes easier and something that you enjoy. And so right now, I'm in the process where I know I need to be alone. This is asking me to go into an even deeper level of love and connection with myself. Because one thing I know even though I'm a total romantic, I love love, I've always wanted a life partner since the time I was young, yet I know that I'm the only one that is going to be with me for my entire life. So my relationship with me needs to be my primary relationship, my primary love relationship. And right now I'm in this phase where unlike before where I wanted to be alone, where I don't want to be alone, where it feels very uncomfortable. And I actually have somebody in my life right now that I feel a connection with. He's interested in me and I could pursue that connection, but I know better. I know that this part of me that when I was sitting with myself this morning that is wanting and seeking to find some love and security and comfort outside of myself, that's a losing battle. And that is a hungry ghost that can never be fed. That I know because of my past experience that right now in the beginning, just like anything in the beginning, is hard. But with time, I will return back to that feeling of loving being alone, loving being by myself, and getting to that next level of self-love. And so one of the things that I just want to share about that is staying the course. You know, when we know that there's something that we need to do that'll be good for us, usually in the beginning is very hard, and we want to revert back to, there's a part of us that wants to revert back to a place of comfort that isn't actually healthy for us. For instance, I'm also doing a cleanse right now, and I woke up this morning and I wanted my cacao, mate, tea drink, but I knew I needed my lemon water. I know that's what my body needs. And I know that I will get to the point, just like I have in other cleanses, where I wake up craving that lemon water, and I know that's what my body needs, and I want it. But in the beginning, it's hard. And so I'm speaking to this video. I want to speak right now to anyone who is in a phase of being alone. And maybe you don't want to be alone. You have been alone, or you're recently broken up, you're heartbroken, and you want to fill that void. Hold off, baby. Hold off. Because the time will come where if you pour into yourself and just treat yourself like your own best friend and say, come here, my love. I got you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here with you. I want to love you. I want to give you everything you need. And dig deeper into how can I give myself what I would love today? What's one thing that I could take just 10 minutes to fill up my cup with something that would just bring me joy and make me feel good? So that's what I want to share, that that's the process that I'm in. And then just a few reflections on relationship, because, it's tricky. It's so tricky. And what I've learned is that, one, of course, you have to have, for relationships to work, you have to have chemistry. Gotta have chemistry. Gotta have love. Gotta have real love, true love. And you have to want the same things. You gotta want the same things. If you have chemistry and love, but you don't want the same things, it's not gonna work. If one person wants to be in an open relationship, the other person wants a committed relationship, you got love and chemistry, it's not gonna work. If one person loves to have tons of alone time and one person really wants to do things together and be very together, it's not gonna work. So we have to get really real about, do we want the same things as the other person? And so it takes time alone, and also with experience in relationship, to figure out what you want. And that's why it's important to not think of any kind of past relationships as failed relationships, because we learn in those relationships what we want and what we don't want. So that's very valuable information, and it's important to reflect after relationships what worked, what didn't work, what needs of mine were met, what needs of mine were not met. And that's how we clarify what our needs are. And so the things that have been really essential for me that I've learned in terms of establishing healthy relationship, once you have the chemistry, you have the love, you have the you want the same things, the other key ingredient is knowing your non-negotiables. So these are your needs. These are the things that you need to feel good, that you need to thrive in relationship. So for me, my non-negotiables in relationship is I know that I need a partner who wants to and desires to and is going to love me and take care of me on my moon time, which is, for those of you who don't know, on my monthly cycle. When I'm having my cycle, I need a partner who is gonna love me up, who's gonna rub my feet, who's gonna make me tea, who's gonna cook me a yummy meal, who's gonna just love on me and care for me and adore me. I know that I need that, and that is a non-negotiable. I also know that I need cooking and cleaning and balance. I cannot be the only person doing that. I know, because I've been that, and I was going crazy. I'm like, no, can't do it. I know that I need partner dancing. I love dancing. It's my complete joy. I know I need to have that with my partner. I know I need alcohol and balance. There's a history of alcoholism in my family. I cannot be with somebody who doesn't have alcohol and balance. I know that I need tons of physical affection. I am a touch person, always been a touch person, always will be a touch person. I know I need somebody who loves physical affection. Maybe for you, you're like, you know what? I'm really not a touch person. If a touch person getting together with somebody who's not a touch person, is your needs aren't going to be met. So these are just fundamental things to like learn. Okay, this is a non-negotiable thing for me. Also for me, somebody who is spiritual, that's non-negotiable. They don't have to believe the same things I do. They don't have to, but I need to be with somebody that I can pray with, meditate with, be in a spiritual dialogue and journey together. So I wanted to share these things because this is what I found to be essential in establishing healthy relationship, and also with yourself, of knowing, like, for me, I need to give myself that physical affection. I need to care for myself like that on my moon time, or ask my friends or community to support me if I'm not into relationships. So these things, these needs you can have met as you learn about yourself, even if you're not in intimate relationship. And let me see if there's anything else I want to share on this topic of being alone, being in relationship. The other thing that I want to share that is essential is that I know that there's so many people out there that stay in relationships that they're not happy in because they don't want to be alone, or because they don't believe that they're worthy of actually having what they really want. You are worthy, and it is possible to have what you want. And it is a waste of your precious, beautiful life to stay in a relationship that you're not happy in. So one of the things that because I'm a realist and I don't expect perfection. No one's perfect. No relationship is perfect. Relationships take work. And I'm going to make more videos on relationships because I've experienced huge breakthroughs from going from abusive relationship to actually, being in happy relationships for extended periods of time. So I'm going to share more about that. But for now, I just want to say that it is not worth it to stay in a relationship that you're not happy. And for me, what that means is that if the relationship, if like more than half the time you're struggling, you're fighting, you're not feeling good, you're not feeling happy, like, leave the relationship, my love. Like, to me, for a relationship to be worthy of me staying, it needs to be 80% of the time we're feeling good. It's flowing. And maybe there might be moments, you know, like, especially if it's a long-term relationship, you know, I was in a 10-year relationship where it's like we dip down and it's hard for a minute, and like we're going through something, and but we know we're gonna make it out on the other side, you know. But the majority of the time, it should be happy. You should be feeling good. If the majority of the time you're not feeling good and you're struggling and you're suffering, it's a waste of your precious life. And you're robbing yourself of the ability of going through your own journey to heal yourself, to shed yourself of whatever's not working within you that is being reflected on the outside, because relationships ultimately are a mirror. And whatever we're experiencing in a relationship is because there's something being mirrored back to us that we need to work on in ourselves. And if it's a divine soul love relationship, we can work out those things together, and we can evolve together. But you have to be both willing to evolve, because if you're with somebody who's not willing to evolve, and you're like, I want to look at our stuff and I want to heal and I want to overcome, and the person that you're with is like, you know, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work if they're like, they just want to be stuck in their ways and they don't want to evolve. Like, that's another thing you have to look at. Like, are you with somebody who wants to grow, who wants to evolve with you? And if not, it is so worth the challenge of leaving that relationship and coming back home to yourself. Because I guarantee you that you can find, if you're committed to your own inner healing, to your own inner wellness, that you can find a place of harmony and happiness and well-being alone way quicker than in a relationship where your needs aren't being met and where you're not being honored in a way that feels good to you. Last thing I want to say in regards to the non-negotiables in relationships and like expectations of relationships is I definitely believe that we should never expect that all of our needs will be met in an intimate relationship or in any relationship. That it's not possible. I do not believe that it's possible for one person to meet all of our needs. So it's not, non-negotiables are not having that expectation that all of our needs will be met through one person, but it is having that clarity of what are the baseline things that I have to have in place in order to feel good and thrive in relationship, and also have the understanding of where are the other places in my life that I can have my needs met, where I have a thriving community and life and environment that I've created for myself, where I have my social needs met, my creative needs met, you know, my different needs met in different ways. And that way I am actually coming to the relationship from a filled up place, because that is also essential, is that we're not coming to a relationship with an empty cup, but that we know how to fill our own cup, which is again why it's essential to spend time alone, know how to pour into yourself, start a morning practice, do the things that you love, stay committed to that, so that when you are in relationship, you can show up from a place of being filled up, from having something to give, from having something to offer, because that is also going to support the relationship to thrive. I think those are all the things. Those are all the things. And just know that you're worthy, that you are worthy of having a loving, deep connection with yourself. You are worthy of having loving, deep connections with other people. And if you're in a period of time where you feel lonely, go deeper inside and know that you can befriend that loneliness, that you can hold that loneliness. And you can, of course, call to friends and communities and reach out. And also know that if you continue to dig into how to be with yourself in a loving way, that loneliness will disappear. And one of the most effective ways that I've found for that loneliness to disappear is to get yourself in nature, because nature will always remind us of our interconnectedness with life, that we are deeply held in the web of life at all times. Wishing so much love to you, dear one.